At 17 years old, I was living with my mom, my younger sister, and my dad. My dad had been working as a manager for a high end law firm. He went to a law school that's fairly known and graduated at the top of his class. My mom, on the other hand, was a music school teacher. She did private lessons on the side, and my sister was in her sophomore year of high school. At this time, my dad didn't have any bad habits. He would mainly go for jogs in the morning, go for work, and then at the night he would do some more work and then spend the rest of the night watching movies. A month goes by and my dad gets fired from work because his partner was caught doing something shady to get a client to sign some documents, which caused the firm to lose a major client with a popular car company, which I'm not going to name for privacy reasons. Anyways, when my mom found out, she started freaking out and blamed my dad for the whole situation. So at this point in time, my dad had constantly been applying to work at other law firms, and he managed to get a mediocre position in a lower end firm. My mom finds out and puts pressure on him to try to find a higher paying job since my sister and I had been going to a private high school at the time, and he needed to pay off some school loans. So after a month of working at a firm, he got rejected many times from multiple clients in the city because of his reputation from his previous work partner's mistake. Since word had been going around, multiple clients from his current firm refused to work with him. They said he was a shady lawyer that manipulates clients to get what he wants. Anyways, he ends up getting laid off from his current firm from low funds, and my dad needed a job to pay the bills and for our $2 million home. My dad started to work as a janitor for a Catholic school since he couldn't stand working at law at the time. A few months went by and my dad's marriage started falling apart. We had to sell the house since we were paying an unrealistic amount of monthly payments and inflation started to get out of control. A year later, Dad had been starting his bad habit to get his mind off the whole situation. And my mom had already filed for divorce at the time. My younger sister decided to go live with my mom, and I moved out with my dad. At this point, my dad was working 40 hours a week and taking on any extra shifts so that he could pay off not only the rent for the apartment, but also towards my university needs since I got into finance. I was never really into law, and I was always good with numbers. Since I decided not to go to the school that he's known for because of my dad's reputation, and that school in particular is very well known, eventually my dad's bad habit started getting worse when he would come home from work, and I would have to take care of him. One day my dad's boss found out about his bad habit through a coworker that caught him in the act. As a result, my dad lost his job. Since then, my dad would spend days at home depressed and miserable. So I decided to step in and work 2 jobs to pay the bills and put him into a place that helps him with his bad habit. During the day, I would work as a barista at a coffee shop and overnights at a grocery store. 2 years went by, and my dad's bad habit got better. Though he decided to put all his years of law behind him, so I encouraged my dad to get back into the community, and I paid for him to take cooking classes. He did end up meeting this nice lady from a cooking class and started to date her. She came over to the house one time and she brought some jerk chicken that she made, which is my favorite food in the world. Since my parents' divorce, I had been staying in contact with my grandmother, my mom's mom, and I ended up telling her about Dad's new girlfriend, and I show her a picture of her. I was very shocked about the comments my grandmother made about her appearance and called her a word that I'm not gonna say. After I had that whole conversation, I blocked my grandmother immediately. And I also told my dad about the whole thing. Since then, I cut all communication with anyone from my mom's side. For the next 2 years, I only had two close people in my life: my dad and his girlfriend. Eventually, my dad got over his bad habit and proposed to his girlfriend. His fiance ended up being a chef for a high end restaurant, and I had saved enough money to luckily move out of the apartment after graduation.